right, here we go. Check this out.
This is Whole Nother Level with Dwayne Lindo.
You know, frankly, I feel that we shouldn't even be talking about this. Simple as that.
The great L. Bushman.
They'd have to make so many adjustments, but I don't know what they have to do. They need a miracle. They need a miracle.
Our girl, Kristen Yalwin.
Yeah, it's going to be another show. Britney Spears has her show in Vegas. The Raiders are going to have their show in Vegas.
Frank Mazzei.
Did they win the offseason in free agency? Yes. What does that mean? Absolutely nothing.
Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Craig Cousins.
How can you not put Tom Brady number one on the Mount Rushmore of quarterbacks? Man, this guy's a legend. Rings speak.
And Eric Wilson.
I didn't know Eric was going to let you talk.
Don't hate the player, hate the game. I've seen enough Facebook posts to know that you're not a Giants fan. Let's go. And welcome everyone to another edition of Whole Nother Level. We are back in Co-Work, Florida. Took some time off to kind of get ourselves rejuvenated. I'm your man, Eric Wilson. I am joined by the factual Frank Mazzei. Frank, good to be back, baby. How are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing really well. And, of course, joining us as always, he runs the board and does it all for us. He is the great L. Bushman, fresh off of being at Rays camp yesterday.
I was. Maybe that's why I feel like crap right now.
Really?
I've been overworking myself.
Well, you need to relax a little bit, brother. But anyhow, we are here every Tuesday from 6 to 7 p.m. Yes, folks, we're only going to give you an hour.
That's all we're going to give.
That's all we're going to give. That's it. Spreaker.com.
It's
Raw Talk Online.
It's quality, not quantity.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. But this is Whole Nother Level. Gentlemen, I want to start the conversation today and simply say to you, I've heard so many people talk about what didn't happen at All-Star Weekend in New Orleans with the NBA. So let me ask you a question. In your honest opinion, what do you think needs to be done for the All-Star game?
I have a suggestion. You know,
Okay.
like, you know how they do the Olympics every 4 years?
Yep.
Have the All-Star game every 4 years.
That's
Because it was terrible.
No defense. What was the score? 192 to 182 or something like that?
When it's gotten to the point where Steph Curry's laying on the floor, I know it's comical and you're trying to bring some entertainment to the game, but come on, man. And the dunk contest was terrible, too.
See, I didn't even watch the dunk contest because I'm so over the dunk contest.
Frank, did you watch it?
I did not see the dunk contest. I saw that Glenn Robinson III was the winner.
You know why he won? Because he did the same dunk over and over. Okay, this sums up the whole dunk contest. Everybody tried to jump over people.
I saw that. I saw the highlights.
That's it.
Jumping over DJ Khaled with his turntables.
That was dumb.
Jumping over like 2-3 people like who were lined up. That's all I saw was trying to jump over.
You know why? People. You know why it was dumb?
Why?
Because we've seen that all before. Go on any YouTube channel for any kind of dunk contest or any kind of street ball, and you'll see that.
I'm glad you brought up street ball because here is a question I wanted to ask you, gentlemen. Or I'm sorry, Frank. What is your opinion? What do you think could be done to maybe make it somewhat better?
Well, the first thing they need to do is keep Master P out of that celebrity all-star game. Because I saw people were posting pictures online, social media with him and Big Mama next to each other.
Yeah,
and
I did see that too.
Look, here's part of the problem. As bad as it was, to me, they have the best all-star of all the sports. They have the best all-star weekend of all the sports. The MLB game is garbage. The NFL is, come on, garbage. Nobody even knew that the NHL even had theirs that particular weekend. So as low and as bad as it was, theirs is still the best. Look.
Not by much, though.
I
That's
know.
by
Look,
a slim margin they're the best.
The lead is narrowing. But look, the Celebrity All-Star Game, it's been kind of fun because then you get to see, a few people, some entertainers, some even politicians have been out there before.
Right.
Michael Smith and
Jamel Hill.
Yeah. It's got a fun feel. They make it a whole weekend for the fans as opposed to, just one-day thing, a one-game thing.
Well, I mean, the NFL tried to do that this year, being in Orlando. They tried to have like a Thursday, Friday, or a Friday, Saturday skills competition, dodgeball. They did something to try and excite and bring more of a crowd to it.
The NFL's got better this year.
Yes.
The past games in Hawaii were just horrendous. But I will say this, and I'm glad you brought up the street ball thing. If they wanted to make it a little bit more exciting and interesting.
You brought it up, but yeah.
Oh, sorry. Bring the guys from those street ball leagues to play in the All-Star game.
Well, see, I was
Or
going to
bring
say,
them in, at least do the dunk contest.
That's what I was going to say. Bring them in to do the dunk contest.
I think the only highlight of that weekend for me was Porzingis won one of the skills competitions. That was it.
I mean, I know everybody was happy because, you know, it was in New Orleans, so Anthony Davis set a record now. He scored 52 points.
But it's the All-Star game.
Listen.
Man. Come on.
But it's always the NBA All-Star game, even back in the day, was pretty much like that. It was high scoring and no defense.
What to an entertainment value, what they should do is bring it like kind of like the rock and jock basketball games like MTV used to have.
Okay.
Yes. So you remember how the hoop was like it was put
they
up
had
to
three
like,
different hoops.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they had 3 different hoops, and then they had like the sensors too, where you could shoot a ball and you get like 100 points.
Right.
That's what they should do.
Okay.
Because then you could be an all-star and shoot it when the hoop is like 70 feet in the air.
Right.
But other than that, that's boring to me.
Okay.
I say you bring the Harlem Globetrotters in to play the All-Stars of the NBA. That would be entertaining.
Wait. Haven't they done that in the past, though? Try to bring in a few Globetrotters to play?
I don't
For the
think so.
Celebrity All-Star game?
Maybe the celebrity
Maybe the
game.
celebrity, but I'm
Right.
talking about the actual game.
Well, no. The actual game, you still have All-Stars playing that game.
Yeah, but the All-Stars, they don't really give a shit about.
They don't give a shit about defense. That's what they don't care about. But offensively, yeah, okay, Steph Curry laying down because whoever it was running down and DeAndre Jordan was like, bro, you don't want none of this. Just go and lay down. And the dunks were happening left and right. I mean, I was watching highlight after highlight, if that's what you want to call it, of LeBron just doing one hands and windmills and, you know, back dunks, alley. I saw it all. I mean, I saw every dunk possible made by either LeBron or Anthony Davis. But here's my question that I do want to ask you, gentlemen. So the world was waiting for this to happen because they knew it was going to happen. The whole Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook. We saw the give and go by the two of them, and Russell Westbrook scored. So congratulations. But everybody on the Western side, when they took that time out or they took a break or whatever, everybody was off the bench like cheering. Like, yay, we're glad this happened. Is this the end?
No.
Uh-uh.
No.
Okay.
Because this is just an all-star weekend, man.
All right.
Let's get back into the regular season, and when we get to the postseason. what
Okay.
happens. Hell
Yeah,
no.
Yeah, Russell Westbrook still ain't happy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just everybody that knows him just says that's how he is. He's like that off the court. He's like that the way he is on the court.
Did you listen to his press conference at all?
No, I didn't get a chance to figure it out.
His press conference was actually really comical because there was a reporter who asked him something like, well, we saw that you and KD were, you had that one moment and, did you guys shake hands? And Russell Westbrook goes, did you see us do it? I mean, did you see us do it?
I look
He
at it.
threw me a pass. I put it in. And we're playing basketball.
I look
did
at
my
it this
job.
way: it takes a few rounds of therapy to mend a broken relationship.
Okay.
But that's not going to happen anytime soon.
Yeah, because, I mean, Russell Westbrook feels disrespected. I mean, basically what Kevin Durant said, I can't win with you. I'm going to the team that, that beat us, basically. It would be the equivalent of, like, me and Evan playing pickup basketball, and we lose, and next I pick you. It's like, man, sorry, Evan.
I understand. I'm horrible at basketball.
I'm going with Eric.
Okay.
I'm
thank
just
you for
saying that's how Russ. I mean, in Russell Westbrook's mind, that's probably part of his thought process. Is he feels like what you can't win with me, and you need. I mean, look, I still don't blame Kevin Durant for that whole thing because in the end, he's probably going to get himself a ring.
Yeah.
So, and Russell Westbrook ain't getting a ring anytime soon with that roster. But no, this is going to take, look, They may never be buddies again. I don't even know. Well, we always assumed that they were buddies when they were there.
8 years.
I know. I'm just
You
saying
spend 8 years with a guy. You go to an NBA Finals with him. Granted, you got your butt whooped.
Doesn't mean you're hanging out and drinking beers together.
But there has to be some sort of camaraderie. There has to be some sort of togetherness. I mean, this was, for all intents and purposes.
Well, I would say they have to tolerate each other.
The Thunder were a viable contender
Yeah.
in the Western Conference when you had KD and Russell Westbrook together.
You could say they had 8 years to tolerate one another. You can like somebody and play with them if you're winning, but it gets to the point where I have to be tolerant of this guy. I have to put up with this shit all the time. Maybe it was time for him to go.
NFL players say it all the time. You ain't got to like everybody on your team. You just got to play together.
But basketball, there are so many less guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You're more of a close-knit group. That's why I'm saying to you,
you still ain't got to like each other.
8 years, though? Get out before that. Get out before the 8-year mark. I'm just saying to you, you already knew how you felt about this dude, let's just say by year 3 or year 4, and you still continued. You had an opportunity to leave. Someone would have picked him up. Someone would have paid that money for Kevin Durant and or Russell Westbrook.
You get more money to re-sign with the team that you're currently
I
with.
understand that.
And
but if you don't like the current situation that you're in and you trying to win a championship, I want to know what made Kevin Durant, after 8 years, come to the realization I can't win with him. Because my point is, you got there with James Harden, yourself, Kevin Durant, and Russell Westbrook, what, year 2, year 3 of them being together?
They made a finals together.
Okay.
Yes.
And then that didn't work. So then you decided to stay on because you thought where you were at was going to be the best situation for you.
Hey, they made the final. I mean, look, I can't fault him for staying. They made the finals.
That's fine.
They didn't even get to the finals.
That's fine. But what I'm saying to you is right now, look at the times in between when they went to the finals and when they didn't go to the finals. And they haven't gone. That's what I'm saying to you.
Yeah.
Okay? Why did it take this long? Why did it take this long for Kevin Durant to be like, you know what, I can't do it here. I got to go somewhere else.
Well, when he signed the contract, I mean, he didn't sign a 1-year contract.
Somebody would have paid that money.
No, I'm saying he was under contract, and the Thunder weren't going to trade him. You ain't getting rid of the second best player in the NBA.
Fine, then one of them should have left. One of them should have stood up and been like,
you can't just pick up and say I'm leaving.
Why not?
It's not your choice.
You can break a contract.
No,
you can't.
Not in the NBA.
No.
It don't work like it.
Okay, so then someone would have picked up that contract.
But
because if you two gentlemen are going to sit here and tell
Oklahoma
me,
City doesn't want Oklahoma City isn't putting either one of them on the trading block.
I'm not saying they're going to, but somehow, some way. So you mean to tell me you're going to stay in an unhappy relationship until
your contract ends?
Which
you ain't got a choice.
You can be in an unhappy marriage as long as you're winning. You can't.
But they haven't won a ring.
But they were winning.
But they have not won a ring. At the end of the day, it's about the ring.
As Frank said, he waited till his contract was up.
I wouldn't have signed a damn contract. Listen. You in an unhealthy, unhappy.
It may not have been that unhealthy and unhappy.
It may not have been that bad
years.
when they first started,
and that's fine.
Sure
but over the course of time,
you're stuck.
Yeah,
find a way.
That's like having a baby mama. I mean, you're stuck.
No, I get
18
it.
years,
exactly.
and then 18
you may
years,
not
you're
like
good to
her.
go after that. Yeah,
you can't get rid of her. I mean, you ain't got to hang out with her, but you're going to see her at some point.
18 years, and you're free and clear.
I mean, you can sit out and just refuse to play, but then you ain't going to make any money.
813-699-5353 is the number. I want to hear from y'all about this.
18 years.
You know who's going to find this out too? Is if Conor McGregor if this fight goes through with Floyd and he tries to do it without the UFC, he's going to find out that when you got a contract, you can't just do what you want.
No, I get that. But there's got to be a way because after a certain amount of time, either one of these gentlemen, whether it be KD or whether it be Russell Westbrook, you weren't happy. You should have went to ownership management and been like, listen, something need to change. I'm allowed to voice my opinion, am I not? Now, granted, yes, I am under contract. I am under an obligation to work for this organization to do what I love to do. But at the same time, we're going to have to fix something.
And I'd be like, damn, sorry, Kevin, but I own you for about the next 4 years. I mean,
well, I'd find me an agent and be like, listen, find me a loophole, find me something. Because you already know my name, people will come for me.
If it were that easy, you'd see other players doing
They'd be
it.
breaking their contracts all the time.
Yeah, I mean, look, what are you going to get back for him? Even hypothetically, if you put Kevin Durant out on the trading block, what are you getting back for? You're not going to get back equal value. I mean, he's just basically
No, I agree with you.
You're going to take a loss, and it's like, dude, I ain't doing it. You know, hey, I'm sorry you're unhappy. We can get some counseling sessions. You know, we can talk a little bit, but you know, and look, part of that is on the coach too. I mean, they let Russell Westbrook basically do whatever he wanted. You know, with Scott Brooks was there. So, and he's the point guard, so it's kind of hard. He's the one with the ball in his hand. So if he don't want to give the ball away, guess what? I mean, you know, and you're not going to bench him because, I mean, again, he's your second best player. So you got.
No, listen. I hear everything you're saying, and I'm not disagreeing with you. But what I am going to say to you is, you have to at some point realize that your mental stability, at some point in time or another, it's going to damage you. Because Kevin Durant, for all those years that he was unhappy with the Thunder, yeah, he still went out there and played, but at the end of the day, Kevin Durant should have at least one or if not two rings. He got 0.
Trust me. Look, we're talking about Kevin Durant like he's 38 years old.
No,
he's like 26,
right.
27.
I get that.
And
he's not on his way out the door.
He's
but
going to have a couple of rings before he hangs it up.
I agree with you.
Not this year, though.
But what I'm saying is he should have at least one by now.
LeBron didn't have one in 7 years. I'm just saying he didn't.
You're right.
It takes, you know.
It's not that easy to get a ring.
But when you're one of the dominant teams in the NBA, I have to say to you and say, what's the problem?
But
because Oklahoma City was a dominant team in the Western Conference.
That's like saying if you're 16-0 in the NFL, you can win a championship.
You should.
But you didn't.
Who did the Oklahoma City Thunder run into in the NBA Finals?
Oh, no. Make no mistake about it.
They didn't lose to the Pacers.
3-1 lead, and come on now.
Yeah, I mean.
You were 1 win away from going.
They ran into LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and that crew down in Miami.
You're right.
Which, you know, look, I don't think anybody was going to beat them.
Okay. All right. Well, good stuff to start the show. Let's take a real quick break. When we come back, I want to talk a little football. I want to get back into the NBA, talk about DeMarcus Cousins, and now how him and Anthony Davis are going to be playing together. Where does that put the Pelicans in the Western Conference? You're listening to us. Whole nother level right here at Co-Work Florida. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Whole Nother Level right here at Co-Work Florida. Big shout out to KP for letting us do it here every Tuesday from 6 to 7 p.m. I'm joined by the factual Frank Mazzei and the great L. Bushman. This is your man, Eric. Big shout out to our friends on Facebook Live chiming in. Again, 813-699-5353 is the number. Y'all got a thought and opinion. We want to hear from you. But, gentlemen, I want to get back to the conversation. So, usually I don't like talking about this dude, but I think he's finally on his way out of a certain area, and I couldn't be more happier for him. Tony Romo is probably going to be leaving Dallas and going somewhere else. So, Frank.
Yep.
Let me ask you.
Yep.
The two teams right now that are speculated for Tony Romo to go to are Kansas City or Houston. Which of these two do you feel is going to be the best fit for Tony Romo?
I'm going Houston just because, look, if it's Kansas City, then you have an Alex Smith problem because you can't go back to Alex Smith after – you know, if you bring in Tony Romo and make him your guy, because Alex is going to be like, what the hell? I mean, you know.
This happened in San Francisco.
Exactly. So unless you've decided to move on from Alex Smith and you're done with him, then okay, you know, but how long are you going to get out of Tony Romo? I mean, a year? I mean, 2 best case scenario. So for me, it's Houston because I think Houston's a better team, and I think he's going to have more talent to work with. I mean, look, I know that New England basically beat the doors off of them. They scored 16 points in that game, which I know is not a lot, and they played really bad. I mean, and they still they played bad and got 16 points with Brock Osweiler. So with those weapons, with that defense, which didn't give up all the points that actually New England did, some with special teams. I mean, Houston would be, if they could get him and he'd be healthy. I mean, look, DeAndre Hopkins, he'll be on my fantasy team again next year if Tony Romo is. If it's still Brock Osweiler, I ain't touching him.
Those are the only two teams. What happened to Denver?
I don't know if Denver is still in the running or in the mix. I don't know.
I would say Denver would have a need for him with Lynch and who's the other guy?
Simeon.
So yeah, with those two guys, I mean, I would maybe take. I mean, just like they did with Peyton Manning, bring him in for a couple of years and see how he does.
Could that offensive line protect Tony Romo? Because Peyton Manning, say what you want about him, the guy came back from 4 neck surgeries. The guy was mediocre his last season, but he was still Peyton Manning.
Well, he was
able to shut defenses down.
He was mediocre because he had a pinched nerve in his neck, and that was affecting his throw.
And that's fine. But you blow Augusta Wynn hit Tony Romo, he out for 6 weeks.
Well,
so
I would, if I was Denver, I would maybe throw myself in the mix. But surprisingly with Kansas City, and go back to Frank's point, you got a healthy Alex Smith, and I know they don't really pass a lot, but I'd take a healthy Alex Smith over Tony Romo, who's got 1 or 2 years left in the tank. Maybe not even a year, maybe a half a year.
Here's the
depending
one thing.
How healthy he's
here's
be.
The one thing I will say, and I cannot believe I'm going to say this. Frank, I'm going to quote you. I'm just going to change the name. Alex Smith gets you field goals. Tony Romo will get you touchdowns.
I'd say it was a bad idea if you do that. Bad idea.
I'm just saying.
It would be. I'd be surprised because Andy Smith's offense doesn't even throw the ball down the field that much.
Andy Smith?
Oh, Andy Reid. I'm sorry.
You just combining the two guys? All right, I got you.
They've been together. You kind of get joined at the hip. No. Andy Reid's offense isn't. I mean, he's not taking shots down the field like the Raiders were with Derek Carr and just airing it out. So, I mean, Alex Smith fits that perfectly. I mean, look, Romo can throw the ball down the field. I mean, and now unless you're going to shift your offensive philosophy a little bit and start doing that, but that doesn't seem like Andy Reid's, MO, so to speak.
I would say the best fit for Romo would go to Houston. You're staying in Texas.
Right.
Yep.
You've got great offensive weapons around you, and it's the best fit for him.
You got a good defense.
Yeah.
I mean, look, you make Houston a legitimate threat. I mean, they made the playoffs with,
and you're
Tom Savage and Brock Osweiler.
And you're playing in a division that's pretty easy to win.
Yeah.
So, best case scenario, I would go with Houston.
Okay. I'm just asking because that has come up in conversation. He's finally going to, him and his best friend, Jerry Jones, are going to part ways. The bromance will be over.
Do you think they'll go off and have one last dinner together?
Oh, I'm sure
in
they
the
will.
sunset?
Yes, of course they will.
I just don't think if the Kansas City Chiefs, now I know they were anemic in the playoffs, to bring him in, and when you've got Alex Smith, he's a serviceable guy. He knows how to manage the game. Just to bring in Romo with that offense, I just don't think it would click enough. And
it's a win now league, though, which is why I asked that question.
Yeah, but if you're still a young team, which Kansas City is, do you really want to trust with Romo?
If he can stay healthy, you guys will always sit here and say to me, look at his numbers. Look at his numbers. He's one of the top quarterbacks in the regular season.
I said
Ain't won a playoff game since he won
about Phillip
one
Rivers.
Or two playoff games. I was only starting on Phillip Rivers.
I said that about Phillip Rivers.
But my point is, you guys are always saying to me, if Tony Romo can stay healthy.
And that's a huge if, but if you're Andy Reid and you're the Kansas City Chiefs and you have a starting quarterback in Alex Smith, no to Romo.
Okay.
It's not an offense that suits him or fits him. I mean, look, I would probably, I don't know, I'd be tempted to do it because I'm not a big Alex Smith fan. But if you've decided to move on from Alex Smith, then make a call to New England. Bill.
Jimmy Garoppolo saga, raffle hasn't even begun yet.
I don't think he's going to go anywhere.
Seriously,
I
you don't think so?
I think
all
he
these
might go
teams,
to Chicago.
Really?
Chicago,
Cleveland, Arizona.
You can throw Cleveland now. I think he's going to go to Chicago. Chicago's actively looking to trade Jay Cutler, anyways.
They're talking Jay Cutler coming to the Jets.
There was a couple reports today that people speculated that New England's not.
They don't want to give him up.
They're not giving him up.
moved. I mean, he's still on a rookie contract. He ain't costing you no money.
Right.
So unless you get blown away, it'll be like, man, I ain't got to do nothing. Tom Brady's 39, 40 years old. And if you think that he's the guy to replace the guy, then I don't know. I think you're going to have to blow New England away to get them to part with him.
And with that whole situation, with Brady could play for another 5, maybe 6 years.
Brady's not playing another 5-6 years.
He says he could play to 50.
He could.
Vinny Testaverde and
But
Doug Flutie
one
played until the 47.
And look at them towards the tail end of their careers.
They were not on a team like the New
I don't
England
care.
Patriots.
I don't care.
And they're not Tom Brady.
I'll give you that. They're not Tom Brady.
If he plays 3 more years,
Right.
I'd be shocked.
No. I say he plays 3 more years. Tom Brady, he's what, 38, 39 right now?
He's 39.
39. Tom Brady will play 3 more years. He'll get 1, maybe 2 more rings, and that's it. That's it. 3 more years.
Tom Brady's going to play till he's 50.
No, he's not. We're in 2017. Tom Brady's going out in 2020. You heard it here first.
How many times this
Tom
season
Brady's
does-
going out in
how many
2020.
times a
Donald
season
Trump's going
does
out
he
in
usually get
2020.
knocked
That's
down?
it.
How many times a season does he usually get knocked down? Hardly
It depends
ever.
on who he's playing.
Hardly ever.
It depends on who he's playing.
Okay.
What defense actually
He's
decides
gonna-
to show
you
up?
know what?
Do you know defenses they plan?
With technology and steroids
I'm
nowadays,
not
he can
disagreeing
play
with
till
you.
he's 60.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but what I am saying to you
I wanna
is
see
you
a-
understand defenses.
Were you watching Talladega Nights?
I wanna see a-
Ricky Bobby. I could live with all the modern technology. I could live to 250.
I want to see a gray-haired, grizzled Tom Brady
Not going to happen. 3 years.
just come out when he's 60.
3 years.
And he wins like championship number 10.
Father Time is undefeated.
Thank
At
you.
some point,
Thank you.
It happens quick. I mean, you can have a great year.
Blink
and
of an eye. Just
it-
I can't even do it that fast. That's how fast it is.
Okay, looking at what we saw with Garoppolo the couple of games he was playing this season.
Yeah.
Can you trust him to be the heir to the throne?
Yeah.
Or do you maybe trade him and take
No.
a chance in a couple of years?
I agree with you, Frank, although I don't see it happening. I would like to see Jimmy G stay and be the heir apparent, but I don't see it happening. Jimmy G's got too much talent for me right now to where teams like Cleveland, Chicago, Arizona, hell, even though Houston in the mix, because we don't know what they doing. I'll take those 4 teams and tell you right now, if Jimmy G goes to any one of those 4 teams, hard pill to swallow, but I'm gonna say it anyhow. If Jimmy G goes to Cleveland, Chicago, Arizona, Houston,
Are you betting right now?
I'm telling you right now, that team either slides in at a wild card or makes a run in the postseason.
Well, you got to remember,
With Jimmy G.
New England's in a power position right now.
Of course
because
they are.
They don't have to give him up.
Of course they
So
are.
you better propose to me and wow me with. You better wine and dine me.
Yep.
You got to take Robert.
Who got the
Kraft
number
out.
1 pick? Cleveland?
What's Cleveland got to give up? Nothing.
Number 1 pick.
Do the New England Patriots really need it?
It's going to take more than
Yeah,
one.
it's gonna be. You got to take Belichick out for dinner. You got
And
to take
Terrell Pryor
Robert.
Sr.
You got to take Kraft out to dinner
Number 1
with
pick.
Brady. You even got to wine and dine Giselle too. You got to take those 4 people out. You have to
Number
take
1
them out to
pick.
dinner.
You also get Terrell Pryor Sr.
No.
only
No?
want 2 number 1. Look,
Yeah,
Carson
no.
Wentz and Jared Goff got like more than 1 pick, and Bill's going to. I heard somebody say this week that their perspective was if Bill does trade Jimmy G, then that means he doesn't think he's the heir apparent because who knows him better than any coach in the NFL?
I agree.
They see him every day. So
No, you're right.
If they think he's the guy, they may hold on to him. Now, I think just with the little body of work, I think I would take him over an unknown college player that's never taken 1 snap in the NFL. At least he's played a game, and he's sat next to Tom Brady and learned from Bill Belichick.
But look how many other guys have done the same thing.
True.
Look how many other guys have sat behind Brady.
Yeah, but
and then they no. And then they went somewhere else and didn't do squat.
And
Jimmy G's the first guy. I'm gonna tell you right now. He's the first guy out of all the quarterbacks who sat behind Tom Brady that I can honestly say to you, if he was to go somewhere else, he would be the man on that team.
A lot of other people said that about the guys that sat behind Brady, and they were bad quarterbacks
Right.
because they went to bad teams.
I know, but I'm saying wherever he goes, Cleveland's the worst team in the NFL. Chicago ain't much better. At least with Arizona, you got David Johnson and Larry Fitzgerald. You go to Houston, you got a solid running back, and you got weapons. Okay? But what I'm saying to you is Jimmy G incorporated into any 4 of those teams, any 4, would make that team better.
He's not going anywhere.
Yeah, now look, Houston would be interesting because it's the same offense.
It's New England South.
I'm saying Bill O'Brien runs that same offense, so he would step in already having full command of whatever Houston wants to do.
Yeah, but is Houston in a place where they want to take a chance on another young quarterback?
He sat behind Brady. You've seen his body of work, and look at the two that you have right now.
I
You got
understand
Brock
that,
Osweiler, who's stealing money, number one, and number two, you got a guy whose last name is Savage, and I ain't seen him do nothing.
But if you're the Texans, are you willing to gamble yet again?
Yes,
on another
for
young
Jimmy
quarterback?
G, I'll take that gamble.
I'd say no. He's not.
Bill O'Brien,
good.
who did he learn from? Who did he learn from?
Just saying no. He's not.
No. Answer my question.
I know who he learned.
Who did Bill O'Brien learn from?
Bill Belichick.
Who did Jimmy G sit behind?
Tom Brady.
Okay, so there you go.
Who did?
It's New England South. Vince Wilfork's down there, damn it.
Who did Brian Hoyer set behind?
He sat behind Tom Brady.
Who did he go to play for?
Where'd he go? Cleveland?
He went to Houston too.
He went to Houston.
Oh, okay. Look how that turned out.
But he doesn't have the same talent as Jimmy G.
But a lot of people said he did because he sat behind Tom Brady.
No, but thank you for proving my point. I said there were guys previously, Brian Hoyer being one of them.
Yeah, but
Matt Castle being another one who sat behind Brady and did not get the job done. Jimmy G, I'm saying, is the exception to that rule.
Maybe I think a lot of these coaches and front office guys are saying, okay, we're looking at these guys that sit behind Tom Brady. Maybe they aren't that good to sit behind Tom Brady. Because all these guys that have come out and gone away from the Tom Brady Belichick blanket, they don't play.
But they didn't get true playing time.
Brian Hoyer started.
When did he start for New England?
No, he started.
No. When did he start for New England?
But he should have had enough time to.
When did he start for New England?
Preseason.
The difference between...
Outside of preseason, when did he start for New England? He didn't.
Well, if he's playing for New England South, he played for Houston. So.
No. When did he? He didn't. He played in preseason. Jimmy G started with the first stringers. Jimmy G started when Tom Brady sat out.
You're going to base a body work on 2 games?
3 games.
You're going to base that on 3 games.
But look at what
3
he was
games.
able to...
Here's the difference between Jimmy... I can't even go Jimmy G yet, but...
Garoppolo, go ahead.
Here is the difference between Garoppolo and all those other guys, basically. Jimmy Garoppolo was a second-round pick by New England.
Right.
Bill Belichick thought enough of him to go second round. I know they took Brissett in the 3rd round, but that's you got a little more.
That's insurance policy.
Exactly.
There you go.
Your second round pick is, I mean, it's not a first round, but you see something in him. All those other guys were guys that they picked up in later rounds.
5th,
I mean,
6th,
they
7th, and with the exception of Brady being 199 in the 6th round. I mean, come on.
Now, Mallett fell just because he was a knucklehead in college. Some team might have drafted him before that. Of course, he'd have been a bust anywhere else.
And they all were saying he was going to be the heir to the throne.
So, yeah, I just think that Garoppolo had second-round grade on him, and he went in the second round. So somebody saw something in him in that regard. But look, it's hard to take over just because of where you came from. We've seen coaches step down, and their right-hand man that sat with them for 20 years takes over, and they can't do crap.
No, I agree.
So, it's going to take something like that to see, but I'll be curious to see. But look, again, I'd take a gamble on Garoppolo over
I would too.
Any rookie or
Brock Osweiler or Tom Savage.
Yeah.
Here's a question for you. If Brady retires, do you think Belichick steps down? His golden goose is gone.
They're going to leave together.
He has enough championships.
They're going to leave together.
I've wondered about that because Belichick's record without Brady, it's not good.
They'll leave together.
I mean, I'm just saying, he does not have a good winning percentage in games where Tom Brady is not his quarterback.
Right.
So
they'll step down together, and then your boy, Great L. Bushman, the one Mr. Josh McDaniels.
Nah, he won't.
He'll take over.
He'll go to Miami.
He'll go to Miami. What?
After they fire Alex or Adam Gase.
And actually, he might go to Chicago.
So let me ask you something else. Hold on. Herschel Walker, one of the greats. He said the running back position is beginning to make a comeback.
He actually made sense this time.
How do you gentlemen feel about that? With the likes of a David Johnson, a Latavius Murray, what we saw this year from Ezekiel Elliott, DeMarco Murray finally being on a system that works for him. Is the running back position starting to make themselves relevant again?
We see this every few years that the running backs go away. They come. It's the same with wide receivers. It's a cycle. I would say it's on the rise. I wouldn't say it's fully back just yet.
No, I said, are they starting to?
I would say yes, because guys like David Johnson and Zeke, and even DeMarco Murray with the season he had with the Tennessee Titans, it's put them back on the map as those power backs. So I see it trending up now.
And then you got Freeman and Coleman. I mean, hell.
Now the class is coming in this year.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So we'll see how the draft goes, but I would say to him, that he's correct in a way because it is kind of on the rise.
Okay.
And it's a copycat league. I
Yeah.
mean, when one thing happens, it's like, oh, Dallas drafted a running back, and look at what they got.
Right. Right.
Everybody starts thinking, who is the next insert? And, to Evan's point, the running backs, they go 9-10 deep of really good running backs coming out in this draft.
And remember, you can draft a running back late in the later rounds because we've seen that guys that have gotten the first and second round, they've turned into busts. So you don't have to rely on those top picks anymore. You can go later rounds and get a top quality running back.
Okay. All right. Like I listen, I had to ask. Herschel brought it up. I wanted to get y'all's thought and opinion.
Why does he want to come back in the league?
Who?
Herschel.
No.
I know his fighting career didn't end up too
Yeah,
well.
exactly. No, don't you do that. Don't you bring your behind back to the NFL. All right, so Great L. Bushman, you were gracious, awesome. You did it all yesterday.
I did.
You were at Ray's camp, so
It was wonderful.
since baseball season's getting ready to start, I know this is probably the most wonderful time of the year for you, sir.
It is.
I want to hear from you. What went down yesterday?
What an experience. It makes me want to quit my day job even more. I hope anybody from TriNet's not listening. So,
Hold on, let me look real quick.
is everybody? No. Okay.
Mitchell.
Well, he doesn't care.
Okay, good. There you go.
It was cool, man. Yeah, I got down there around 10:45. Camp had already kind of started because they started 10:30 for workouts because they pushed the sleepy time a little bit later so everybody can get some rest in. But it was good, man. It was a really good crowd that was out there too at Charlotte Sports Park. I got to go in and see pitchers and catchers do their thing, do the warm ups, and then they brought in a lot of the infielders in to do just some drills and everything. It was really cool. Longoria was absent. He was absent again today. He's a little bit under the weather. There's a little bug going on. I think it's affecting everybody because I feel like shit right now.
Yeah, I didn't feel that great this morning. I woke up, I was a little achy too, but as you say, that just comes to me being old.
But it was really good, man. I got to see Blake Snell do some throws. He was doing some warm ups and he was going into some live batting practice, and he looked pretty good. He's still a little bit with the control issues. His fastball was a little bit going in high. But this is the first couple weeks of training camp, so we'll see what happens after that. But Archer was there. Got to see Kevin Kiermaier do his thing in the batting cages. He looked good. Also, Alex Cobb was taking some pitches off the mound. So that the injuries and surgeries he had last year, they're easing him in gradually. So he was doing his thing on the mound, and then Matt Duffy showed up. He was recovering from an injury as well. He took a little bit of batting practice too. So I got to briefly talk to him when he was going to the other field. He said he felt good, and he hopes to get to do even more live drills later on in the week.
Nice. Oh, nice. All right, let's go back to the NBA here, but I love that, the fact that we are going to be doing our show live at Ferg's. We're going to be there for about 20 games this MLB season for the Rays, so make sure y'all come check us out at Ferg's in St. Pete, right next to Tropicana. They got a nice little tunnel that takes you right into the Trop. But getting back to basketball, so finally, in my opinion, what needed to happen in the Lakers organization has happened. The Lakers have fired Mitch Kupchak, and Magic Johnson is going to replace Jim Buss as president of basketball operations. So, Frank, talk to me about this for a minute, because I have said that Jim Buss just, even though it was his father's wishes, it was in his will for Jim Buss to take over, he just doesn't seem to have the mental acumen to handle this historic franchise. His sister, Jeannie, on the other hand, though, girlfriend can make some stuff pop. So I was happy when she finally either asserted herself or said, you know what, enough's enough. We're not going to disrespect the Buss name anymore. But now Magic's in there. And when you think of Magic Johnson, you don't think of anything but Showtime and the Lakers. So talk to me about that, my brother.
I mean, I was surprised.
Really?
Well, not that they brought him in as an advisor.
Okay.
But throwing him in. I mean, look. I hope it's better than his coaching career. I mean, he coached the
and
Lakers.
his talk show career too.
Well, yeah, I mean, he was the Lakers head coach for all of 16 games, and then he quit.
Yep.
5-11 record. Of course, again, that team was
Terrible.
Yeah, so I mean, no coach was really going to win, but he just basically got fed up and was like, you know what, I'm done.
Right.
But Jeannie's always had ultimate authority. That her dad left that, even though she's on over the business side, she has full control to make those things happen. It's just she didn't up till this point because, again, Dad's wishes in the will was that Jeannie run the business side and Jimmy runs the basketball ops side. But still, Jeannie had ultimate authority. She was just basically honoring Dad's wishes. And there's other Buss family members too. I mean, there's a bunch of them. I'll be curious to see how it goes because, look, Magic's a good businessman.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's worth $500 million. Companies, I wonder if he's going to stay in part ownership with the Dodgers. If he's still going to have that, he has a role with the Dodgers. So if not, then is it one of those roles where he just steps out and's like, hey, I'm Magic Johnson and I'm here, because president of basketball operations, he's going to be there every day.
Right.
I mean, he's not going to be scouting everything. He's going to hire a GM and everything. But Mitch Kupchak, I mean, it was probably time for him to go.
It's been time for Mitch to go. I mean, I almost said what I.
Mitch has been there 17 years as the GM.
Yeah.
They've won championships with Mitch Kupchak as the architect and general manager of that team.
Okay, hold up. Time out. I will agree with you. 17 years, 5 championships. Okay? But that was at the beginning. That was 2000, 2001, 2002. And then
That was when Phil was still around.
Phil, right.
Yeah.
Phil was there. God bless the dead. Jim Buss was still around. You know what I'm saying?
No,
the working wheels. I'm not giving all this credit to Mitch Kupchak. I'm sorry. I'm not doing it.
I'm not, but I'm not going to talk about him like he's a bum either because he's got championships as a GM, and there's a lot of GMs that ain't got nothing.
He was a piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
But once certain pieces left, and you got to really see what Mitch Kupchak was all about, I'm sorry. I can't. In good conscience, I can't do it, okay? If they had made a run from 2010 till now to where the Lakers were still in contention and Showtime was still trying to – well, there'll never be another Showtime. But if the Lakers were still of the upper echelon in the NBA, then I can sit there and say to you, okay, Mitch Kupchak was an integral component of the trifecta that was Jim Buss, Mitch Kupchak, and Phil Jackson. But I'm sorry, not Jim Buss. My apologies. The father, Jerry
Buss.
Jerry
Dr.
Buss.
Jerry
Thank you.
Buss.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So Dr. Buss, thank you. But once those pieces left, 2 out of the 3, and like I said, Dr. Buss, great man, passed on, left a legacy, and then Phil decided that he wanted to go to New York because he wanted to do something else. And don't even get me started on Phil.
Jerry West stepped away too, and that's who Mitch Kupchak took over from.
Okay.
From Jerry West.
There you go. The dark horse. The logo of the NBA said, peace, I'm out.
And
so then you got to see what Mitch Kupchak was all about.
Yeah, I'm not saying that he's great. I'm just saying he's very well respected in the NBA as a talent evaluator. And he'll get – Mitch Kupchak's going to get another job.
And that's fine. Just not with Los Angeles.
Oh, no. It's a fresh start. But, again, the people that Magic bring in, they're going to have to be good, too, because Magic has no front office experience.
I'm glad you brought that up.
If he brings in a GM that stinks,
Kobe Bryant.
guess what?
And that's the name I was going to ask you. Does Kobe come and work for the organization?
I say no.
Not as the GM.
Nah, he'll be in as an advisor.
Just an advisor.
Just an advisor.
Yeah. Magic said that he wants
Talent
to
scout?
talk to him.
Right.
Look, Kobe, when Kobe stepped away, Kobe's not just been sitting on his couch. Kobe's like been doing venture capital, like business takeover kind of stuff, like trying to be the next, Warren Buffett. So
Magic, trying to be Magic, trying to get his hand in.
Saying, he's trying to make money, basically. Okay. And so his calendar is pretty full in that regard. Now, could he be swayed? I doubt it. I think he's happy, or at least it seems, because he's not been popping up, at least that I've seen, trying to get his face out there and everything. Everybody says that he's working. He's getting companies going. He's starting companies. But I think
Kobe, if you listening, whole nother level, brother. Y'all need to come take us there. Let's go.
I like this as a good move for the Lakers organization altogether, because when you bring in Magic, it brings an attractive place to play again.
Yep.
Especially when you have Magic Johnson as your president. Now, when free agency comes around this offseason, there are guys going to be like, okay, Magic's your president. Let's see what he can do. So it could be an attractive place like a Chris Paul, who's in free agency this coming offseason.
Okay.
That may want to say, hey, I kind of want to play for the Lakers now.
Right.
And Luke Walton is and Magic's went on the record even before he got in this position that he likes Luke Walton, because Luke Walton runs an offense that players in the NBA today want to play in. It's that Golden State offense.
Right.
I mean, it's not Showtime, but it's, you're going to get some points if you play in that offense and you got any kind of a talent. Okay. I mean, their record is not so much a reflection of Luke Walton. That team just stinks.
Right.
I mean, Phil Jackson could come back. You could bring Greg Popovich over, and anybody on that bench, they ain't even coming close to the playoffs.
Frank, going back to what you said about Magic being with the Dodgers, I think he's probably going to step away from the organization. He's kind of a majority kind of owner of that team anyway, so he kind of comes out and says hello and then leaves. So I think he's going to put all of his resources in being the president of this organization. I have faith in Magic. He's a good businessman.
Yeah.
He's basically the face of the Lakers. Let's put that in perspective.
He
right
is.
there. So to make this organization better again, I think that's a great move for the team to bring him in as president.
And look, he may be able to, because you know where the logo's been working the last few years.
Yep.
Up north in Golden State, and you see who they've been drafting with him up there. That ain't no coincidence.
No, not at all.
Jerry West. Look, Jerry West is the one that traded Kobe Bryant for Vlade Divac back in the '90s, when nobody in the world knew who Kobe Bryant was except Philadelphia High School, wherever it was that he played.
Did I ever tell y'all that I met him before he got drafted?
Kobe?
I met Kobe. Kobe was here in Sarasota.
Wow.
Speaking of Vlade Divac trading people,
all right, so yeah, let's get back to that.
I was wondering when you were going to get.
Let's get back to that, and that'll round out our show today. Where we start is where we're going to finish here on Whole Nother Level. Big shout out to everybody tuning in, chiming in. DeMarcus Boogie Cousins. This brother has been more of a knucklehead than he's been anything else. And Frank, can I just say, do you have your status that you had put up earlier?
I'm
us?
I'm going to throw in 25. Is that okay?
I'm going to throw in the other 25.
Okay.
All right. Yep.
All right.
I posted it on my status and Whole Nother Level status.
Yes.
And I was going to say something like used condoms, but I just went with athletic supporters. I figured just keep it, as decent
we
as
try
possible.
to keep it as PC as possible. But yes, Whole Nother Level going to spend $50. We going to take over the Sacramento King.
Now, I want to say this before we really judge this trade. Now, on paper, it looks kind of like a bonehead.
It is.
We're throwing in the towel, and I think Sacramento should maybe...
Oh, no. They ain't throwing in the towel.
Hold on now. I think they should maybe pack up and leave and go back up to Seattle and be the Supersonics once again.
That would be Oklahoma City.
Oh, whatever. Either way. Before we judge this, I think looking at this trade is, he's going to be a free agent after this season. So
next he's got one more
year.
Right.
So can New Orleans actually lock him in for an extension?
They're saying that they can. That's the reason why they made this trade.
Can they?
Even if they can't, with what they gave up, which is nothing. I mean, they gave up basically a first-round pick.
Yeah, but Buddy Hield's going to be the next Steph Curry.
Who?
Buddy Hield.
Who?
This is look. The owner of the Kings, I don't know if
I don't know what they're doing over there
and
honestly.
made Vlade. You're bringing Tyreek Evans. You're getting Tyreek Evans. If only you had Tyreek Evans a few years ago.
Right.
All right, you did. You had Tyreek Evans played for the Kings a few years ago. This is so funny that you gave away a top 10 player in the NBA. Best center in the NBA. It's not even arguable.
All right, so you feel that way because
it's not even close.
I heard people say that, and I was like, DeMarcus Boogie is the best big man in the game today.
With him and Anthony Davis, both of them average 20 points a game, 10 rebounds a game.
Boogie's a 27-point and 11 rebound guy. You don't just give those away.
No, I agree with you.
Those don't grow on trees.
He plays defense.
He's the best big man in the game today.
He's a great passer. He's a really good big man passer. So,
Okay. All right.
Look, yeah, I mean, he's a knucklehead, yes. But a lot of that now, and I'm not going to defend him, but like when George Carl was there and took over as a coach, first thing he says is he wants to trade and get rid of DeMarcus Cousins. Your best player, you just take over as coach, and you talk about wanting to get rid of a guy. How do you think? How happy do you think Boogie was hearing that? You know, it's like, damn, man, you just got here. You just taken over. I mean, and you want me gone. So again, is New Orleans are they going to win the championship because they got Boogie Cousins? No, because they ain't got no talent there besides that. Drew Holiday's there, and that's basically it. They don't have really a good backcourt. But
So where do you see them slotting in?
Look, they're out of the playoff race right now. They're going to make the playoffs. And
What seed?
I see them as the 8th seed.
I think
8 seed going up against Golden State.
Look, I see them bumping up a little more than that. I got them a little higher because, look, they're not as good as Golden State. Golden State has like 4 really great players.
Oh, of course.
You know, New Orleans has just 2. But do you want to see New Orleans in the playoffs? I mean, yeah, Golden State could probably beat them, but if they match up against any other team, those teams got their work cut out for them. I mean, because again, you got 2. You use the Twin Tower term,
Right.
I think this is going to set up. Look, if Alvin Gentry wasn't their coach, I'd feel a lot better about it. They need to get him out of there and bring in John Calipari next year because he coached both of them. And hey, make it just he said he could win a championship with Kentucky players, so bring in Eric Bledsoe and just just make that Kentucky South.
Calipari's stacking up guys right now. He's like, okay, you guys are one and done. You're all coming with me to New Orleans.
But from New Orleans' standpoint, Buddy Hield Buddy Hield's a rookie. I'm not saying he's a bust, but he stinks. I mean, this year, as in his rookie year, he is stinking it up. He's not. His numbers, they stink. So now, again, he's a rookie.
But he's Steph Curry-like.
So look, I give all the credit. Buddy Hield stayed 4 years of college. There's a reason he stayed 4 years of college. It's because he had to get his draft status up because nobody was going to draft him until he made that run. And then everybody's like, oh, man, look at Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield wasn't even going to be a second-round pick if he'd have came out the year before in the draft.
Right.
So, and I don't even know who the other guys were that they sent. Miles Langston, Lent Galloway, nobody.
Who?
Exactly. Tyreek Evans, I mean, he's
No, I got you.
okay. So New Orleans they gave up their draft picks. That's basically.
Which in the NBA is no guarantee of what guys you're going to get.
If you can re-sign DeMarcus Cousins, and again, it's a big if.
And they said they could. That was the main reason why they did this trade, was because they feel like they could re-sign him when he becomes a free agent, give him the money that he wants.
I mean, look, you get in a couple more guards in there to help out. I mean, that's a scary team. Get a better coach. I mean, look, I'm sorry, Alvin Gentry, you ain't winning nothing with Alvin Gentry. Everywhere he's been, he's not had winning records. I mean, he stinks. I mean,
okay.
But the Kings just, I don't even understand. They haven't been good in 10 years.
Here's the comparison that I heard, and this is how we're gonna end the show today here on a Whole Nother Level.
Hockey's the biggest sport in Sacramento.
The Sacramento Kings are the Cleveland Browns of the NBA. And that's how we going to leave it. We finna right out of here, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning and chiming in. We really appreciate it. We're going to be back on Saturday. So you're listening to Factual Frank, Great L. Bushman, and your man Eric. And until next time, we've taken you to a whole nother level.
Take over the world.
Autobots, transform and